Okay, last time we worked on a bunch of characters made out of little squiggles or splotches or blobs, whatever they are. You've made pages and pages of these things since then, right? Okay, as you look through them, you will think, maybe this one's not so bad. Maybe that one's not so bad. I might as well go with this one. He's the one that kind of reminds me of me. Okay, so that's the one that I have chosen. That's the one I chose for myself, the lucky character. He's not quite complete because there wasn't room on the page to do a whole figure here. So I'm going to take another one of these lovely pieces of paper and see if I can make lightning strike twice and can draw this guy again. Yeah. It shouldn't be too hard, because I did it the first time in just a couple of seconds without even thinking about it. Only this time, I'm going to fill out the missing aspects of him. So now he's going to have 2 arms, and we'll stick a couple of legs on him. And there you go. Now he's like a whole complete cartoon character. In my classes, when we do this little squiggle blob exercise, a lot of the students end up with characters who are, shall we say, aliens, because they're working with odd shapes. It's natural to come up with things like aliens or monsters. That's all right. But I caution them, when you're picking a character that you think you want to be working with for a while, that you can paint yourself into a corner by choosing a character that is too off the wall, too oddball looking. You know, if it doesn't have enough arms and legs, or if he's just like a fish or a talking bowling ball, or, you know, you're inviting problems, storytelling problems, when it comes time to do a comic book type story, because this character is going to have to do anything that you call upon him to do. He'll have to run, jump, go to the store, go to the school, go to the moon maybe, fight dragons or supervillains. And if the character isn't versatile enough, if he's just like talking a rock or something, he may be somewhat limited, and that can make it difficult telling a story. Not impossible, but you know, every time you'll have to figure out, how am I going to fight this supervillain if he's just a lump sitting there? You know, there's no law says you can't do it. It's a free country. But I would suggest, just suggesting, don't start out with a tricky character. Do one that has a reasonable number of eyes and mouths or whatever he needs, and you'll just find it. You'll make it much easier as we move forward. Much smoother sailing. Okay, so here's our guy. Here's my guy. Now this is where we start. Remember, I told you that one funny-looking drawing is not a cartoon, and that's true. All we've got here is one funny-looking drawing. So how do we get from this to start doing actual comics? Well, we need to get to know this character. We need to find out who he is, what he's all about, and nobody knows but us, because he didn't exist until we put him on this page just a few seconds ago. So, first of all, here he is, standing there with his arms sort of up for some reason. And he's got this goofy grin on his face, and that's pretty much all we know about him. So what I want to know is, what does he look like when he's... What does he look like when he's doing anything other than this? What does he look like when he's sleeping? When he's running? What does he look like when he's angry? When he's tripping over his feet? When he's petting a kitten? So we've got to figure all that out. What we have to do is, I'm going to give you a permission for this particular exercise. I want you to take a page, and we're going to fill several pages with your character. This is the character that I invented, but he's not going to be in this pose now. I want to see what he looks like when he's looking straight at us. I want to see what he looks like from the back. I want to fill pages with him doing different activities, different expressions. Put him through his paces, and you do that with yours. Now, the trick is, you see, when I move around, even though I'm not in the same pose that I was a second ago, I still look like the same guy. I'm just the same guy in a different pose. That's the trick we have to accomplish with our characters. Every time we draw him, he still has to look like this guy, but just like he's the same guy doing something different. So what would this guy look like if he was looking straight at us? Well, I mean, his height's not going to change, and like the height of his head is not going to change. That's going to be pretty standard stuff. The height of his body won't change because he's looking straight at us. So here we go. His head is still going to be roughly the same shape, I would think. Now his nose, instead of sticking out to the side, is going to be centered straight on the head. And let's see. I'm thinking it might be... There's a suggestion of nostrils there. Now there's that smile. It's shifted position, so now we see the whole set of teeth in the front of his head. And his eyeballs are now centered as well. Now we see both ears, of course, because there's one on each side of his head, presumably, and there's that neck. His body is not changed that much. There's his feet. And just for giggles, let's change up his arms. And now he's doing one of these hands on hips poses. Okay, so now it's almost like a wanted poster, a mugshot. You've a view of him from the side and a forward view. So that's the next step. I want you to take your guy, start putting him in different poses, and then we will reconvene and compare notes. This gives you a little start, and we'll talk again.